I think what we were trying to create there is a real world feel when you're running around in the levels. We want you to think like the towns that you're going to and these places that you're visiting. You can see them on the map. You know where they are, more so than like D2, or you never kind of knew where you are. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep. I think also what we're really trying to do in Diablo 3 is to expand kind of the little bit, and the feelings and the small bits of story and lore that you got in the previous games in the series, and then really like blow out the world of Sanctuary and explore the cultures and the nations and all of that.
Hi, this question is from Twitter. Are there any plans for Diablo 3 to support UI add-ons?
Hey, Twitter, what up? It's a funny name for a dude, Twitter. No, we have no plans to support UI add-ons. We feel very strongly that what makes Diablo work is the simplicity of controls, straightforward design. And UI mods are glorious, wonderful things, but one of the side effects is that they vastly increase the complexity of your control systems and your user interface, and we don't have any intention, we don't want to do that with Diablo 3.
Hi, my question was about when you're playing the game. I kind of felt like all the characters all the monsters just blew up into a river of blood. And that's cool and everything, yeah! But that's cool and everything, but I felt like in Diablo 2, you just kind of slash some characters and they drop and die, and occasionally they'll blow up. And it just felt really busy, like so much was going on and so many monsters in one spot.
So usually we're really big fans of blood. I think I can speak for most people. Yeah. But that is definitely something that we've been thinking about too. There's still some tuning that we're doing on things like that, like effects, and blood's included in that as well. So ultimately, anything that impedes gameplay or actually gets in the way of that, obviously we're going to fix or we're going to tweak. But we also want to make sure that you get a lot of satisfaction from hitting things and actually get a payoff from fighting. So there's a lot of that there as well.
Yeah, my question was every time like you stun someone with the barbarian, like the little words have to pop up above their heads, and it seems like that kind of takes you out of the immersion, kind of like in WoW. And I was wondering if there's a toggle off or if you're going to keep that in or anything like that.
We have toggles for some things that come up. Right now, that's not one of them. It's always been our focus to be gameplay before anything else, before even immersion. And what we find is when we put in some features, there's just no other way to telegraph them but to use a bit of UI. That's a last course of action for us. But we have no intention of removing things that we think are necessary to play the game just because someone says, well, I'm slightly less immersed. For us, at the end of the day, it's still a game, and that's the most important thing. The fact that the game is very, very playable. It's very easy to understand what's going on. There's nothing really that can trump that for us.
All right, so I was wondering if there was going to be a new implemented system for gold or currency, because really in Diablo 2, the only thing was gold was used for resurrecting your mercenary.
That's a good question. The reason that gold lost its value or had diminished value in Diablo 2 is pretty involved. It had to do with the amount of gold that you got relative to the amount of gold that you could hold, the trade system. There's definitely a lot of lessons that we've learned, not only from Diablo 2, but from World of Warcraft as well. We have a lot of ideas in mind. We would very much like for the gold currency to be meaningful and for players to take the steps that we need so that gold becomes an actual trade currency rather than, you know, perfect skulls or Stones Jordan or whatever. So we're definitely looking at that.
Hi, I want to make a quick shout out to my friends in Ribbon, but my question is that you guys did great in Diablo 2 and Lord of the Destruction, but the big gap between Diablo 2 and Lord of the Destruction were the rare, unique, and rune words. The rare items in Classic were great. They were better than uniques. You know, not everybody had the same unless they were duped. And in Lord of the Destruction, everybody had Enigma and whatnot. So how is the items going to be in Diablo 3? Are they going to be cookie cutters, or are they going to be everybody have a unique set?
I think that the randomly generated items are the heart of the item system in a game like Diablo and Diablo Universe. It's definitely the desire that the random yellows, rare items, have the potential to be better than the unique ones. Of course, it's always tough because it's a tricky balance issue between making a unique or a rare better one versus the other, because some people would rather the uniques be better and some people would rather the rares be better. I think that the key for that, for us, is to maybe look at other roles that the uniques could fill. For example, maybe the uniques are better at combining affix properties that you wouldn't ordinarily see together, would be unlikely. Another might be that perhaps you don't see armor on amulets very often, and in this case maybe you would on a unique. But at the end of the day, we would very much like the randomly generated items to be prominently featured because it supports the end game and replayability better.
About the party search system, will it be automatic like in the demo which I just played? Is it like automatic, or do you plan to add something like a function to choose which people, like our friends, which will be in the party? And do you plan to make it as fast as in the demo?
I'll take this one. Let's see. That's a lot of questions. So for getting into a party, it's really important to us that you be able to pick, very easily get into games with your friends. That's one of the things that I think Jay and I had talked about for a long time that's really important to our game experience. In Diablo 2, it was very difficult for you to find your friend. You'd usually have to call them up or IM them or something and get into the game. And we really wanted to make sure that that was an integrated part of the experience. So finding your friends, getting into a game, and forming a party very quickly, that's extremely important to us. And I think that we're still exploring a lot of other avenues for how to get other people together, to form those parties, to have good game experiences. What's really important to us is that that we get a lot of good game experiences on there. The things that we don't want is we don't want to have people randomly hopping into your games, doing things that negatively affect your game experience and forcing you to somehow quit your game. We want to make sure that more game experiences are positive. And we still want to have hardcore mode and PvP and all of that, though. So I hope that answers your question.